Schizophrenia is one of the more severe brain disorders, but this one, unlike bipolar disorder, is more definitely biologically based. They can look at your brain scan and tell you if you have schizophrenia based on, it's characterized by accelerated loss of gray matter in your brain, as well as sort of an underactivation of frontal lobe. But there are structural abnormalities in your brain that the doctors can look at and diagnose you. There are different kinds of symptoms, and the psychotic symptoms, such as hallucinations and delusions, usually show up in men in their late teens and early 20s, and women it's mid to late 20s and early 30s. And rarely is someone just have their onset after age 45, and usually not before puberty, but there have been cases of schizophrenia in children as young as 5. If your close family member has schizophrenia, such as your parents or a sibling, it increases your chance by 10% to have schizophrenia. And also, in twin studies, it's about 45 to 60% likelihood that you will have schizophrenia if an identical twin does. So all this evidence shows that it is extremely biologically based and yes, hereditary. Well, there are 3 different kinds of symptoms, and there's positive, negative, and cognitive. And positive doesn't mean good, it just means something that occurs out of the disorder, whereas negative is something that's taken away. So the positive symptoms are unusual thoughts or perceptions, including hallucinations, which are usually auditory but not limited to auditory hallucinations, delusions, disorderly thought, disorder of movement, and sort of a detachment from reality. The negative symptoms include a loss or decrease in the ability to initiate plans. Often the speech is affected. They might become withdrawn, or quieter, not as social. Definitely emotional affect is affected. It's sort of blank, a not expressive face. There's a loss of pleasure in everyday life. And this is complicated because these symptoms can be mistaken for laziness or depression when there is something very different going on. There are also cognitive symptoms that are problems with attention and certain types of memory. Often short-term memory loses its ability. And executive functions that allow you to plan and organize are definitely affected as well. Unfortunately, the media has not been good to schizophrenia. It has really shown a bad side of it. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest sort of movies and things like that in the media that have really painted a bad and scary, maybe violent picture of people with schizophrenia, which is absolutely not true. There have been studies on this very thing that prove that people with schizophrenia are no more likely to commit a violent crime or be violent towards someone else than anyone else. It's just people are afraid of what they don't understand, and that's part of what we do at NAMI. Is our mission is to educate the public on what these disorders are and that this is biological. This person can't help it. This is like you have heart disease or diabetes. This is the same thing. But in fact, schizophrenia is much more treatable than both diabetes and heart disease. So it's just about getting the knowledge out there and the information out there because people are afraid of what they don't understand.